Since the last one of these came out, there's been a new Doctor announced. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has come out. Stephen Fry released a new documentary. Edward Snowden. Mrs. Krabappel died. Britain has cited terrorism as reasons for detaining reporters. There's a strange movie released by DC. Greece began cracking down on Golden Dawn. And I was briefly a games journalist. Okay, so the most important event so far is Edward Snowden. Back in May, Snowden, he was an employee of a government contractor, and he released a number of NSA files to the public through British media outlet The Guardian. Snowden hoped to inform the public about the broad-reaching powers the government had taken in the wake of 9/11, and to allow us to discuss programs which had hitherto been unknown to us. The rabbit hole goes deep, and I'm going to be covering it in the weeks ahead. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has come out, and it's okay. It's got a lot of developing to do, but I'm trying to watch first season episodes of The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine to appreciate how rough first season episodes can be, but seriously, even at its worst, vaguely racist planets of black dudes living in tribes and wearing furs, there's still good ideas underlying Star Trek that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just doesn't have. You can catch it on Hulu. Alright, Golden Dawn, the extreme right Greek political party, spent most of the last year building political and social support by leveraging nationalist and anti-immigration views which had been stoked by the financial crisis and high unemployment. While the party itself claims no affiliation with fascists, Nazis, or violence, members of the party have individually done so. It's thought that they have been involved in several violent raids on immigrant neighborhoods, and their influence with the police has even resulted in American tourists being beaten by Greek police who thought they were immigrants. Seriously, fuck those guys. And that's what the Greek people have done. The threats and violence wielded by members of the party were not enough to protect them when many of their members, including their party leader, Nicholas Mikaloliakos, cannot pronounce the murder of a anti-fascist rapper. And this is my longest one, and I'm still skimming over the details, but these guys are also Greek white supremacists, which is, as a Southern American who occasionally has a vampire sit next to him and lean over and say, "Hey buddy, try getting some sun. You look like death warmed over." I think maybe if a person is a white supremacist, they shouldn't live in a tanning booth, because, what? Oh, many Greek people? Oh. Well, do they know that? I mean, did they invent mirrors in America and never send them back across the ocean? I mean, has someone told them? So they know it, and still. Okay, let's talk about The Simpsons. So Marsha, who played Edna Krabappel in The Simpsons, died on October 27th. Fox re-aired the classic episode Bart the Lover on Sunday as a tribute. It's sad, but remember that The Simpsons is going into its 25th season. Most of the people in it weren't in their teens when they started, and that ultimately all are mortal. This, statistically speaking, means that The Simpsons may be the only show to be cancelled when its original cast dies of old age. Or maybe they're... But seriously, like, do you have to be, like, an albino? Like, I think you should just be an albino before you're a white supremacist. I mean, otherwise, it's completely arbitrary. It's just completely arbitrary. Anyway, either that or they're training Seth MacFarlane to do all the voices once Family Guy's last legs finally give out. Is Family Guy still on? There's a new Doctor. It's Peter Capaldi, who's been in 3 Doctor Who things, so I'm sure he's up to it. The creative team hasn't changed, so I don't expect much else to either. Despite that dismissive shrug, the 50th anniversary episode is due out on the 23rd worldwide simultaneously at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So don't fuck that up. Oh shit, I gotta ask for a deal. So that Snowden stuff I was talking about, it was leaked via Guardian reporter Glenn Greenwald. Well, David Miranda, Greenwald's boyfriend, the papers say partner, but let's call a spade. He's a gay boyfriend. He was flying through Europe doing some related work in Germany. One of his connecting flights traveled to London, where he was actually taken off of the plane by security, detained for 9 hours without giving cause, and then they confiscated his electronics, even his game console. When questioned later, Scotland Yard cited the Terrorism Act of 2000. Subsequently, documents drafted by Scotland Yard in association with MI5 have been revealed, and they described Greenwald and Miranda's activities to report on Britain's government communications headquarters, the GCHQ. They say those activities counted as terrorism because it defied the government's desire to keep information secret, and it did so to enact political change. I'd normally make a joke here about how GCHQ's name kind of sounds like it was crafted by Orwell's Oceana, but that statement makes that punchline on its very own and really just saps all the humor out of it. So the dulcet-toned Stephen Fry released a new documentary on the persecution of homosexuals around the globe. Out there, is what it's called. It travels to Brazil, Uganda, India, the U.S., naturally, Russia, and it visits those affected by homophobic attitudes and engages those who perpetuate them. If you want to see how the people who hate gays justify themselves and their actions, if you want to examine the philosophies behind their attitude in their own words and see the effect their attitudes have on real people, then you should definitely check it out. Alright, back in June, DC released a movie about the last son of Krypton who arrived on Earth and cosplayed Jesus, but then he snapped a dude's neck, and the proles slapped their hands together, and they called it a show of strength, but I am still wondering why some folks say it's a Superman movie. It is about the weirdest thing. If you've got any tips or any insight on that, let me know. Later.